Okay, welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast Secret Dump. The secret dump is upon you. And Natasha has a very special guest. She wants to join us. It's Rotten Mouth Cutie.
Our dog's breath is so bad, you walk into a room and you're like, wait, what is that? And you just see that she yawned. She can smell up an entire dining room.
She's a special dog. You're a special dog too, right? Don't you have a special announcement to make to our listeners?
What is that?
You have a television program.
Oh, yes. Everyone should watch Comedians on Couches on Discovery Plus. Me and Dan Levy, we interview, we basically talk to our comedian friends, people you see on this podcast, people like Chelsea Peretti. We talk to Ali Wong, and it's really fun, and we make fun of house hunters.
I've never been on.
I know. I started to get kind of uncomfortable because we decided we didn't
want
you on.
That is uncomfortable. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not.
There was just a lot of white men in it.
The thing about me though is that I'm not white. I'm Jewish.
Okay.
A lot of debate about that, but
I think you're a white man.
All right, fine. Listen, as a white man, I'm asking our listeners to watch this television program because if there's one thing that straight white men in this society do not have enough of, it's economic stability. And your decision to watch this program could
House Hunters, Comedians on
be the
Couches.
difference between Natasha
Unfiltered.
getting another season or not. So just watch this.
But yes, I'm very excited about that. And someone just gave us some fan mail.
Oh, it's not fan mail, honey. It's actually feedback from a question we solicited, a couple of weeks ago about how to tell our 3-year-old about a lot of stuff. Racism, when you pop the racism bubble with a toddler, and periods. How do you tell a kid?
Why was I concerned about why do you have to tell a toddler about your period?
Because she was asking me. That's what we were talking about. She saw a tampon and she's like, "What that?" And I was like, "That's something Daddy doesn't even understand." You know, I try not to think about it. Is what I said to her. So we asked our listeners, what's the right time, age, and strategy on how to tell kids about all of the. I don't want to conflate racism to periods. Periods good, racism bad, but difficult to talk about sometimes. So we got some feedback.
You want to read one?
Okay, here's one. Love you guys. I'm currently a middle school teacher and I have experience with kids from 2 years old to 8th grade. I have found it is much better to give an age-setting appropriate answer to questions about puberty, sex, reproductive health, and even race and sexuality. Avoid answering or saying when you get older. That leads to kids looking for answers themselves, which risks them getting exposed to who knows what or frequently asking questions about sensitive topics to get a reaction. That's fair enough. When I was a young man and condoms first hit the scene, I mean, not that they were they didn't exist, but they became a big topic of convo because of that AIDS virus, and it was the early 80s when I was in first, second, third grade. So nobody really condoms all of a sudden were everywhere, but the kids didn't really understand them, and the kids, the cool older kids, would brag that they'd be like, "I'm wearing one right now." At school, they would pretend they were, and we all believed it because we didn't know.
That's cute.
I'm wearing a condom right now. So for your specific situation, our reader goes on, it is something that happens to grown-up ladies to help them have babies. That would be something you could say. Oh, it's something that happens to grown-up ladies to help them have babies. You don't need to worry about it because it's normal. It doesn't hurt you, and you'll learn about it as you get older. Subtly redirect them to something they can't resist, like grab them and
here's a cookie.
What they can't resist?
Suddenly grab them and dance?
Like grab them and dance out of the bathroom, singing about growing up, or ask them if you told them about adopting the pregnant dog. Something that feels mature but age appropriate and distracting.
It sounds exhausting.
Well, it's weird too to be like, it's something that happens to ladies as they get older. Did I ever tell you the story about the dog getting pregnant?
Da 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 da. There's no. Just feels like.
Well, it feels like as your kid
maybe it's the best thing to do. What do I know?
A couple of middle school examples for fun, our writer says. I had the privilege of explaining to two sixth grade boys why they couldn't keep bringing up 69 as the answer to every question. It is a reference to a mature sexual act, and it is not appropriate to reference in class. That's fair.
Wait, the kids just kept saying 69.
69. What's 4 plus 4? 69.
That was fun. I remember that.
Fun days, you mean?
Remember like sitting in the back of the class?
But she's referencing that they didn't even know what they were saying.
Oh,
they were
okay.
just getting a reaction from the word 69 because they knew it was something.
Right.
But
And then she finally had to tell them, listen, that's a mature sexual act.
That's the most disappointing sexual act.
Oh my God. But if she's...
She had to say to him, that's one of the least fun things two people can do.
Wait, but then that sucks because you got to tell a kid a sexual act? Like they're going to immediately Google it.
No, she references, oh, that's fair. Google has ruined everything. But she says, hearing the teacher say sexual act ends the convo pretty quickly. I've also had, so they don't want to talk about it at that point.
I was definitely talking about sexual acts in middle school.
In middle school, I had 69 4 times. And once with the assistant principal. I don't like talking about it, but 69ing. I mean, what it is? Does anyone like it? Hey, that's a question for our listeners as well. Could you write in? Let us know if you enjoy 69ing.
On the side, it's okay, but it
on the side.
Well, so you're not like on top of each other.
Oh, you mean it's like Kama Sutra, like you're both on your side?
Yeah.
Kind of blurping each other out? Uh-huh. I guess. It just feels distracting. It's like, let me focus on what I'm doing or what's being done to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway, that's interesting to know. I didn't know that about you. You like 69ing on the side. Tip them numbers over.
Wait, I'm looking. Yes.
Okay. I've also had to call parents and explain that their child is making what teachers at my school called whale noises, R.E., sex noises, during instruction. The students would have the responsibility to call home and explain themselves if it happens again. I've never had to follow through. The idea is to put the kibosh on the activity. Best, Mrs. Teacher in Minnesota.
So the kids start going, and they're like, stop making whale noises.
Yeah, and if
during instruction, and then they call the kids home, and then they never do it again.
No, she's saying to the students, if you keep doing them fuck noises, I'm gonna call your mom and have you do it over the phone to your mom. That's a good tactic.
That is good. It also reminds me of our kid because like every kid I know thinks it's hilarious to say poo poo. Mm-hmm. Like we were with a kid yesterday and they're like, you're Miss Poo Poo. And then today our kid at the teacher was like, poo poo, poo poo. Mm-hmm. And then all her, I think that's like, that's like how that matures.
That's what immature young people do. And then like, it's not what adults do. Like I don't, for example, make a living doing basically that on stage.
Maybe we all just like poo poo jokes.
I mean, it's funny. The way you say it, it sounds like you're a Victorian aristocrat. Poo poo.
Well, I think it's cute. But yes, I hear you. That sounds...
We got more.
Sounds like great feedback.
We got some more. Let's read some more.
I don't know if I can tap dance my child into another room the second she brings up anything about a tampon. But
you want me to read?
Yeah, you do
Natasha and Moshe. I have a 6-year-old boy and I do not hide my period from him at all. I often will spray it in his face.
No. Okay, I'm going to read this one. I have a 6-year-old boy and I do not hide my period from him at all. When he was younger and still went to the bathroom with me, he once saw me put on a tampon and said, "Whoa, that's crazy."
It is.
He does ask me why I bleed from my private, and I simply tell him because big kid girls and adult girls bleed for a little every month because of our bodies. He doesn't really question anything else about it. He's like, yeah, I'm good, Mom. Let's stop talking about that. As for difficult topics such as racism, death, poverty, and others, children's literature is a wonderful way to introduce your child to these issues in an appropriate way. For example, A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo is a book about 2 boy bunnies who want to get married and a stink bug who tries to stop them. I think your instincts are spot on, and I do prefer your comedy to Moshe's.
She did not write that. It says the earlier the better. I'm looking at it.
What do you think of that, Moshe?
Yeah.
So even to the toddlers say, yes, I bleed from myself every month.
I'd be bleeding.
She's like, why? And then I'd be like, I would run out of answers to all the whys.
Well, I don't think that there's nothing.
Isn't it easier to say, can you go in the other room? And then she just doesn't have to see it for
What you could say is, She says, why do you bleed from your private? And you say, they call it private for a reason, motherfucker. Now get out of the bathroom and don't ever talk to me or ask me about that again. Something like that.
Well, 6 is like, I guess the kid could understand.
All right, here's another. Hi, folks. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I've always done normal period routines around her as she inevitably follows me into the bathroom constantly. Any questions? What's that? Why are you bleeding? Why are you putting that there? Why is there blood in the potty?
See, that's what I mean.
I've always tried to answer nonchalantly. This is my period. Grown-up women get it. It happens once a month. This is a tampon pad cup. It keeps my undies from getting messy.
You know, I like all of that except for saying undies.
Undies is not. Yeah, I'm not with you. No.
But I like, that's more my style.
My chonies.
Casual.
It keeps my chonies from getting messy. I always try to tack on, I'm safe and healthy. This is normal when I can. It mostly works, and she doesn't seem scared about it, and she gets anxious about a lot of other things. Although maybe it's you saying things like undies. Maybe that's one of the problems she's having. Although for a while she thought that pubic hair was called your period, so that was awkward to explain at one point, but also funny. That is funny. Mm-hmm. That you think pubes are called periods. I just try to be very casual, even when I'm cringing inside, and so far, so good. All right. Okay.
I like her style. Okay, so what do I say? Oh, that's my period. Grown-up women get it. I'm safe. Don't worry about it, honey.
Yeah, there's no business like show.
This one feels like the same effect, but less energy. I like that.
Okay. Shall we continue? There's 2 more. Hi, I recently asked my mom, how did you hide period stuff all these years? When I learned about periods at school, it was all brand new information. For me, it feels impossible to hide it since my now 9 and 7-year-olds are still just barging into the bathroom when I'm there. I guess she was better at enforcing privacy. My kids were about your daughter's age when they asked what it was and looked kind of fearful and shocked. I just tried to stay calm and honest, asking if I looked like I was in any pain or if I was hurt. Both of them relaxed when they realized I wasn't injured. They seemed satisfied with this is something that happens to grown-ups and it doesn't hurt and it's private at that age. I think keep it simple and reassuring for little ones. My daughter is the more inquisitive one, seeming like she likes to ask questions to test if they're embarrassing or not. At probably 5 or 6, she asked what the blood was for and why it happened so often. I was actually kind of proud of myself for breaking generational patterns by calmly answering her with the first thing that popped into my head. I said that the blood gathers inside a sac inside the woman's body and fills up like a pillow to be a place for a baby to rest. I mean, it started horrifying like a James Cameron film, but it ended actually very adorable. That's an adorable set of imagery. But if there's no baby, then the body knows it doesn't need a pillow, so it lets the blood out the same place where you pee. I waited for her to ask how the baby got there, but she seemed satisfied with this answer, and it hasn't come up again. Neither of them like to use my bathroom, though. I wonder if it's because they're afraid of what other bloody surprise could be lurking. They think it's like the little hand inside the pillow. Neither of them like to use my bathroom, though. Oh, sorry, I read that. I never thought that I would be this calm or open talking about it with my children, so I'm pretty proud of that. I also never thought I would be writing into a comedy podcast about it either, and I'm not sure how I should feel about that. Well, I'll tell you how you should feel. You should feel ashamed of yourself for writing this kind of filth and puerile, disgusting imagery to our family-friendly podcast.
Wait, she really told them that about the sack?
I mean, that's pretty good improv right there. Your body creates a blood pillow that a baby can rest on. I mean, it's kind of cute.
But isn't that like slightly confusing?
Well, I mean, what is the right answer? My egg, if it doesn't get blasted with nut, will just shed off of my body, turn into a bloody waterfall, and plurp out into the toilet?
I think she'll learn about her body and her reproductive system in middle school. So for now, you can just say it's healthy. It just happens once a month.
Why would you want them to have to wait till middle school when it's about to happen to them to even mentally prepare for it?
That's true. You can kind of like...
Yeah, prep. This is about to happen to you. You're about to bleed, girl. Talk to you later.
That's what middle school's about.
Business.
Middle school's exciting because like you're waiting to get your period. So
is that true?
Yeah. Have you ever read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret?
I have not read that. No. You know, I've never read a novel by a female author.
I would believe it.
Why? It's not true. All right. Last one. Hi, Moshe and Natasha. I just listened to the On the Rag episode, and I want to tell you how I explained periods to my daughter. But first, I also want to say I've been listening to your podcast since the beginning, and I think I may be your oldest listener, or at least I'm older than anyone who's written and called. I'm 53, and I don't know why your audience seems almost exclusively so young because I relate a lot to what you talk about, more the stuff from your perspective than what the callers are going through. Those people seem like complete fucking idiots, stupid, infantile, juvenile little pieces of shit.
That.
What is wrong with this person? She didn't say that. She
okay,
likes
let me
you guys
finish
very
reading
much.
it. Anyway, I have 2 daughters who are now 18 and 15, and I remember that I told my older daughter about periods when she was around 3.5, about our daughter's age, okay? I don't really remember telling my younger daughter that, but that's how it goes with when you have a bunch of children. Don't rub it in. I decided to tell her because of the exact situation you talked about. I was always having to hide stuff in the bathroom and lock the door when I was changing a tampon. I approached it as something related to biology. She was very interested in the natural world, and I was always teaching her things about animals, bodies, etc. So why should this be any different? This was, I believe, before we got into how babies are made, but she already knew about pregnancy. So she said something like, every month a woman's body starts to make a lining inside where a baby grows. And if a baby doesn't start to grow, then it comes out through the vagina. It looks like you're bleeding, but it's not a cut and it doesn't hurt. This is so intense. I don't think I could say this. I'm not
You're just going to
sure.
say, wait till middle school, kid.
Well, because it just feels like every day then she's going to be asking me if I'm having a baby or if I'm cut, or I don't know. It just feels, but yeah, I hear you.
I'm not sure I use the word lining. That sounds a little complex, and she may have been closer to 4. I'm not sure. But I think it's really important to teach kids the correct name for body parts from a young age.
That I agree with.
And to treat it, yeah. Like I always refer to penises. I will say like a dong, or I'll say like, a fatty. I'll say a fatty. And with a girl's butt, I'll refer to it as a tick ting, like that.
That's cute, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, so she says, I do remember checking with some of my other mom friends, and I think only one other had told her daughter about this stuff. But it was such a relief to me to not be hiding it from her, and it was not a big deal. P.S. If you read my email, please don't call me a boomer. I am Gen X. Okay, wait, hold on. I think this person's right, but I don't know if I can do it.
Well, it's classic boomer logic, like what she was saying. The whole thing. I was just thinking, like, this is how a boomer talks. This is how a boomer talks. This person never watched, what was that movie with Matt Dillon and Ben Stiller, and it's like the Gen X anthem. Oh, that reference would have really nailed it out of the park. My mom used to basically force feed us sex ed. Every Tuesday night, she would sit my brother and I down, and she would read to us from a book called Boys and Sex. From my earliest memory, it was my mom basically traumatizing me with open-minded sex education.
She would read it out loud to you?
She would,
by a rocking chair by the fire, kind of in a rocking chair?
Mm-hmm.
That's the picture I have. Is that really true on Tuesdays, or are you just being funny?
It feels like it's a true memory.
It was like a tradition.
A family ritual, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then she would force my brother and I to fuck each other.
Moshe.
Okay, that part wasn't true. But yeah, no, the whole thing was true. And we hated it. We fucking hated it.
So would you guys be laughing as she's reading lesbian poetry to you?
Yeah, so we tell her to stop. But we wanted to learn from the schoolyard. We were like, we don't want to learn from you. We want to learn from our
She was like, you need to learn about sex.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so she would read to you from what?
Boys and Sex, it was called. Because she was a single mom too. So she was
Boys and Sex was like a textbook almost.
Yeah. And she was a single mom, so I think she felt self-conscious that she couldn't provide us with that fatherly whatever. I don't know what fathers do. I didn't really have one. So, I did, but he was an Orthodox Jew living in Brooklyn. And my stepdad, he was cool, but he never would have done anything like that. He would tell me how aphids reproduce.
Why wouldn't he tell you about sex?
Because he's like a, nerdy scientist that was hands off. He wasn't about teaching us lessons in life at all. He did buy us pet cockroaches though. That's true. He was a bug doctor. He is a bug doctor. And he brought us home an aquarium full of cockroaches once and was like, these are your pets.
I hate that.
Yeah. I imagine you would.
Don't ever do that.
To our child, you mean? No, I don't think I will. Tosh, I think we've learned a lot today.
Yeah, I feel like this really helped me, and I'm going to probably do it. All these people, I like thinking about what to do because now I'll just be more conscious and I'll try a few things and see what works for me.
Yeah, and it's totally your responsibility, and I will not participate in it whatsoever, so it's completely your problem. Shall we listen to a secret?
Let's do it.
Hi, Natasha and Moshe. I just wanted to call in and emphasize that there are us easy comer women out there. It is awesome. Definitely been had multiple women tell me I'm insatiable and a goddess, but I both had a few men tell me I'm exhausting, and hard to please because they don't feel like they're actually pleasing me. What they don't understand is like it's almost like a really bad drug addiction. Like it's raised my like tolerance. So like bad sex to me now is like 3 orgasms because it doesn't quite fulfill my like need. Like I come, but I don't feel satisfied. So maybe that provides some clarification on that. And so I definitely fake my first few orgasms of not having them because I don't want the guy to think that he can stop. Especially guys who don't know me that I am multi-orgasmic yet. And eventually they'll see that because I have more and more, so they think I might have like 4 or 5, but I've actually had like 6 or 8. And yeah, they get a big head. But whatever. But yeah. I think a lot of it just has to do with knowing your body. I first came in like 8th grade, from masturbating, and I didn't have sex until like I was 20. So, like all those years of masturbating makes me really know my body really well. And I also get off on sleeping with strangers, so I'm not like a lot of my friends who have this like annoying infliction that they need to have like emotions for a person in order to come. So the feeling that a lot of us multi-orgasmic women enjoy anonymous encounters and just really get into the moment and like are really good at being present in our bodies and just enjoying the sensations and can block out emotions in the world and all that bullshit. And it's pretty great, not gonna lie. But yeah, we fake not having them. So thanks, B.
That was a very sexual person.
A very cocky person.
I liked it though. Like she knew her body, and she liked to have sex, and she knew exactly what turned her on, and she kind of went for it.
But she also is I thought she was making a case that she turned herself into a multi-orgasmic person, but I actually think, and I'm saying this based on absolutely no information, I think that it's a physiological gift. I don't think it's about like being open sexually, pure, like you figured out the code to. I think it's like not to say that that it's not possible to become more orgasmic, but these women who are like, she says when she has bad sex, she has 3 orgasms. That feels like a gift from the gods, right? That feels like just a body gift. No?
You're mad. You don't believe her?
No, I believe. What do you mean?
What's your problem with her?
I just thought that she seemed like a communist. No, what do you mean? What's my problem with her? I didn't have a problem with her.
Oh, because you were like, why does she... I believe that if she only orgasms 3 times, it's bad sex.
No,
for
what
her.
I was saying,
she's having like 8.
What I was saying was it seemed like she was making a case that the reason she's so orgasmic is that she's not hung up on sex and she figured out what she likes when she was young. But I actually would guess that women who are able to have like extremely frequent, extreme amounts of orgasms.
Is 8 extreme?
I think 8 is a lot.
Yeah.
Every time is a lot. I mean, maybe 8 on your greatest night, it would seem more like it. She says like every time it's 8.
Yeah.
I think that it's a gift that she has. It's just she accidentally it's like being a gymnast. It's a cum gymnast. You can write that one down as the title of tonight's episode. But that is so interesting. We discovered a genre of person on this podcast, which is the multi-orgasmic woman who fakes orgasms, fakes not having orgasms, so that the man will. Because that is so interesting that even a woman that is that in touch with her sexuality has to contend with the way that men fuck. Because a man will be like, this is even a giving man will be like, oh, you came? Great, I can stop working. She's like, no, I want 19.
Well, it's inspiring anyway. I certainly felt beneath her.
Well, she was cocky. She was like, I have been called goddess. I have been called Amazon. I have been called most sexual, insatiable vixen in the world. I have had those experiences, but I'm not hung up with emotions. I do wonder if women that are more multi-orgasmic are down to have casual sex more.
She was.
I know, but I'm saying it made me think, if you can have an orgasm with every man you meet, maybe you're like, well, I'm going to try to see what everybody's like. Anyway, God bless you. And
Let's hear another.
let's hear another. And I'm going to just hit up our producer and see if I can get some contact info on the last caller. Goddess.
Hi, Natasha and Moshe. So this is just a petty secret, but my mom is a big reader. She's always reading new books, obsessed. More so when I was younger. So when I was younger and an evil teenager, when she would piss me off or I would just be like enraged by something that happened with her, my little petty revenge would be to rip out the last few pages of her books. She still doesn't know. I've told a few friends, but yeah, still doesn't know to this day. And yeah, it gave me a lot of happiness. Thanks. Bye.
Is my kid going to do this to me?
Some version of it, yeah.
Why?
Because she's going to grow to hate you.
Why?
Because nobody doesn't. And then she'll grow to love you again.
Because that child did the exact thing that would like be really mean. I was like, she going to like piss on her, you know, what is she going to do? And then it's like, yeah, she kind of got her where it hurts.
At the end of a book.
Yeah.
But her mom didn't even know. How did her mom not know?
Maybe it's like her books when she rereads them or something.
That's like two books in. I'd be like, I have a fucking saboteur in the house.
That's really sad. I really hope that you're nice to your mom.
I have been looking at our child lately. She's 3 and just like the most adorable, innocent thing in the world. And going, how is this person going to make me infuriated at some point? Because it's going to happen, but I can't picture it. I can't picture how I'm going to grow. There'll be nights where I'm like, I fucking can't stand this person. I just can't see it yet. But it's going to happen.
Maybe not.
It will.
I bet it won't.
It's never not happened. It has never not happened. Especially someone as charismatic as our kid. She's wild. She's a wild one. She likes to hug strangers. Anyway, all right, let's play another.
Hi, Moshe and Natasha. Love you both. I'm actually reading Moshe's book right now. My secret is that I'm a stomach sleeper, and every night my cat likes to sleep in between my knees, which is very sweet. But that's also the time when I let out most of my farts. So I'm basically just farting on his head for an hour until I fall asleep. It's probably not much of a secret, since he knows about it, but he just can't tell anyone. Poor guy. All right. Bye.
This is, again, an example of a secret where the person who's leaving it doesn't know what the actual salacious bit of information is. They think this is a secret about farting on their cat's head, when in fact it's a revelation that you fart for 1 hour every night. No one does that. There's a gastrointestinal issue that you have. You need to go to a GI doctor. Yeah, you know how every night when you go to bed you fart for 1 sustained hour?
I do feel bad for those animals, though.
When you like fart on them?
Just being an animal.
They don't care. They eat straight doo-doo.
I know. Well, that's what I mean. Sometimes I get jealous that I'm not like just sitting on a pillow all day.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think of how gross their lives are.
Oh, but they have fun, don't they? They like to be farted upon for 1 sustained hour. Natasha.
Yeah?
Would you like to do one more secret?
Let's do one more, but then I have to go.
You got to go. Okay. You always have to go.
Well, I just like to go.
Are you seeing someone? You are.
The pool guy.
Caesar?
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing Caesar? Okay. I mean, he's a nice guy. I like him. We don't have a pool, really. Or do we? You'll never know what our lives are like.
Hi. So here's my secret. So this was like a couple years ago. No, this was probably like 5 years ago or something. So I was dating this guy. He was really weird. I was way out of his league. So I found out by looking through his phone that he was cheating on me. And so instead of breaking up, like he had Tinder, he had all these things. He was doing a lot of cheating things. But so instead of breaking up with him, I made a Tinder and I swiped through every single person, made like, and this Tinder was of an old lady, a very old lady, by the way. So I swiped, I matched with him, and I catfished him until I told him that I would meet up with him an hour from his house in this parking lot at like 6 in the morning. And so he drove all the way down an hour away at 6 in the morning just to sit in an empty parking lot, and didn't break up with him after that still, just kind of liked having the power over him for the fact that he just sat in an empty parking lot alone waiting for this old lady to meet up with him. But nobody ever came. Thank you. Bye.
So she kind of like pranked him.
She pranked him, but the part where I lost it for her was when she was like, and then I stayed with him. But I got him because in the end I had the power because he'd been sustained cheating on me the entire relationship, and he was much uglier than I was, and I was definitely out of his league. But I won the exchange because he waited in a parking lot for 1 hour.
It also seemed like if he waited in a parking lot for 1 hour for some fake account, he's probably some kind of sex addict, right? He's just meeting anybody in a parking lot?
You say sex addict.
You would meet, you think it's normal to meet someone for sex in a parking lot?
100%.
In a car?
100%.
Okay.
If somebody on Tinder was like, you come to this parking lot 6 a.m. and I'll give you that morning pussy, I would be up at 4:30 having some coffee, brushing my teeth, ready to go.
And you just do it in the car and leave?
Yeah, sounds hot. And then you have a whole day ahead of you.
Okay. Laura, would you do that?
Laura's not a man. You say sex addict, I say man. Potato, potato.
Okay, you're right. I guess I'm just like, I would feel very unsafe doing that.
Yeah, you're not a man.
Why wouldn't a man feel unsafe doing that?
Because there's not a lot of, unless it was, listen, here's how the man feels unsafe. The only way a man ever feels unsafe during a sex situation like that, where the Tinder profile's like, meet me at this parking lot at 6 a.m., is when they get to the parking lot, it's a man. And the man's like, hi, I'm actually here to kill you. You're not really ever worried unless it's once in a while, maybe it is a woman and she's like, hey, I brought a man and he's going to kill you. You're never really worried that you're going to get sliced up. Although I've had a couple of partners in my life where I was like, I don't think I want to spend the night because this person seems like the kind of person that could like knife me in my sleep.
Right. I usually just find someone I like who I think is trustworthy and stay with them for a year and a half or something.
Yeah, I know. There's a word for that. It's called being a square. Take a walk on the wild side.
I'm not built to like fucking random parking lots.
Well, maybe like if you were a little...
Meet me at the Westlake Mall parking lot by the Target and the Chuck E. Cheese. And maybe we could 69 and...
on our sides.
On our side. What, like I'd put what would I do with the baby seat?
The baby seat would be a big turn off for him. He'd be like, what the fuck? You got problems, lady? That's what he'd say. You got problems? I just want a 69 and then get out of here. But he'd still do it, by the way.
Wait, so that's not a money exchange. That's just like people hooking up.
That's a honey exchange.
I see.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So dating apps, that's like, how can you tell the difference? If you're someone like me and you're not into that, how do you go on the dating apps and specify that?
Not interested in any parking lot hookups. No, what do women say? Don't they always say like not interested in anything casual? I
see.
I'm looking for a partner.
Parking lot
hookups. Just other things that turn men off. Just say stuff like that. And
I mean, I think like there's I can imagine some hot encounters, but not in the parking lot in a car.
I hear you. And
maybe in a car with your lover somewhere.
That is how foolishly horny men are. That the prospect of getting some is so tantalizing that you're willing to overlook the detail. Like, why would any woman on earth be like, meet me in a parking lot at 6 a.m. and we can fuck? He never thought this is fake. He was just like, time to go get some.
So this is more like what gay men do.
You want to hear a sad story? I might have told this on the podcast before, but once when I was like, I don't know, 19 or something, I like matched, was talking with somebody on Craigslist, casual encounters, and this woman or whoever I was talking to was like, I'm at the Hotel Nico in San Francisco. Meet me in the lobby and bring a can of whipped cream. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like so horny. I took Bart out there and I stopped at the liquor store and I bought this like whipped cream can, and I was like sitting in the lobby of the fancy Hotel Nico for like when I was supposed to meet her, and then like 10 minutes, half hour, and then finally it like occurred to me that I had nothing was going to happen, and I just had to like walk out into the streets of San Francisco and like throw this brown paper bag of whipped cream into the garbage can and take Bart home.
It's really depressing and sad.
I hear you.
You probably should have stopped and gotten some donuts.
Maybe I probably did after that. Speaking of donuts, I'm going to go eat one right now. It's time for us to wrap this bad boy up. If you want to leave a secret, call 213-222-8608.
Or send us a question if you have, or you want to talk to us at endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com. And find us on Instagram.
Endless Honeymoon Pod at Endless Honeymoon Pod.
Like us.
Like us on Apple Podcasts, apple.co/Endless Honeymoon.
But I really do like listening to podcasts on YouTube, and I'm glad that we're on.
We're on YouTube, youtube.com/Endless Honeymoon. I love my listeners. I love the women's menstrual cycles. I love multi-orgasmic women. I love casual sex. And most of all, I love you.
I love you too.